The Virgin Islands Housing Authority and the Carlisle Development Group celebrated November 18, 2011, the grand opening of the Louis E. Brown redevelopment. What is unique about these housing units, and there are 102 in the first phase, will be the energy efficient methods being used. The units each will have solar water heating, Energy Star appliances, low flow faucets, and cistern water. Solar Delivered, which has hired 3 graduates of the Energy Office's Solar Installer Program, installed the solar water heaters. Okay, Kelly, my name's Don Buchanan. I'm with the Energy Office, and glad to see you out here. It looks like a big project you're working on here. What I'd like to know, first of all, though, is a little about who you are and what your company does.
Okay, for coming out and the interest in the project. My name's Kelly Gloger, and I'm the managing partner for Solar Delivered LLC. We're based on St. Croix and have been in business for the last 7 years. This particular project here is called the Louis D. Brown Revitalization Project, and is going to be providing about 107 apartments and small homes for people to live in. Each one of these units has, as you can see, a solar hot water system on each and every one. We have some 2-story units and we have some 1-story units here. At present, which is mid-November right now, we're about halfway through the project. We have about 60 of the 107 units in place and on the roofs, and we're kind of following the roofing crews around, the sheetrock crews, and installing as we go.
And when do you expect to finish it?
I would have guessed it probably will be done here in terms of all the units, probably early January to mid-January, in that range there. Now, from what I understand, though, there will be some residents on site here by the 17th of this month. So some of the
17th of November.
Of November, right?
2011.
About 3 or 4 days from now, right?
Okay.
Apparently some of these buildings are going to be turned over and the residents are going to start moving in. And those are all operational. The solar hot water systems are up and making plenty of hot water.
This is located in the State Paradise? Is that exactly where? Right off the highway
Right
here?
off the highway. And people have gone down the highway, have seen the big cranes in the background and can kind of recognize it easily. Of course, from the highway you can see these solar hot water panels on the this is for the handicap sort of section here.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, it's 1-story. Everything's wheelchair accessible.
Looks nice. Looks nice.
And in the back, they're 2-story units, and so the lower floors are wheelchair accessible.
Do you have any estimate how much money we're going to be saving, residents are going to be saving?
Yeah, actually we can. Typically we say when someone puts in a solar hot water system, they're saving $30 to $80 a month. It depends on their hot water usage, right? We've had residential customers report as much as 100, but the average is 30 to 50 bucks a month. So let's say it's 50 bucks a month times 100, that's $5,000 a month, right?
Just saving here on, so that also translates into a lot of fossil fuel that's not being used too,
yeah,
right?
It is.
And that's, of course, great for our environment. So,
well, it's also good for WAPA. One of the things that people don't realize is as people are born and new people come to the island and new businesses open, WAPA has to provide more energy, right? Well, one of the things they can do to manage that request for new energy is to manage the demand for old electricity. So every time someone puts on a solar hot water system, that demand comes off the grid, and now that amount of electricity that was being used to heat hot water can now be given to a new business or a new home that's coming online, so that WAPA doesn't have to build new generating capacity.
Right, and the cost of oil, we don't want them burning more oil, that's for certain.
Right, and one of the things that's really unique about solar hot water, unlike solar electric, unless it has batteries, is it has its own storage system. All these units here have either 65-gallon or 80-gallon tanks. 65-gallon tanks for the small units here, the 1-bedroom. The 2-bedroom units, they have 80-gallon tanks. And a lot of people say, wow, 80 gallons, why so much? Because I have a little 20-gallon or 30-gallon hot water heater in my house. Why do I want an 80-gallon tank? Well, the answer to that is we want you to be able to carry through 2 days of no sun and no hot water production on what's stored in the tank. So the bigger tank gives you basically a thermal battery. You can carry through a couple days before you go back to WAPA to plug in, and generally in the Virgin Islands, 2 days of rain and it's sunny again, right?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
One other question. You do a lot of PV, Solar Delivered does too.
Yeah.
Are you continuing? You see more of that going on in the islands?
As a matter of fact, we have almost 9 systems that have to go in between now and the end of the year. People are racing to get in for the tax credit, because if they pay for their system before the end of the year, they can take it on their 30% tax credit. They can take that on their 2011 tax bill, which comes April 15, 2012.
Right, and a tax credit comes right off your tax bill. It's not a deduction or anything figured in. It's like if you owe $3,000 in taxes at the end of the year and you put in a $10,000 system, you just wiped out your
That's
tax.
right. You have a $3,000 tax credit, so I don't send anything to the government.
Instead of spending money, send it to the federal government in D.C., you're improving your the value of your home.
That's right. And you know, it's interesting on that technology. A lot of people don't equate the cost of a solar electric system with the cost of a new automobile, but they're pretty close. You can get a nice system, 3-4 kW, for about $22,000, right? Now, unlike a car, which requires you to put fuel in every week, the solar electric system puts money in your pocket every week, and the cost of financing the system is less actually than a car generally, because people can go out and get a home improvement loan to do it. And it's like taking your money that you were going to invest, putting it in a bank somewhere, and that bank paying you 12% interest on your money. So the economics are very good in terms of how smart use of your money, but some people say, whoa, $20,000 for a solar electric system, whoa, how can I do that? But they'll spend $20,000, $25,000 on a new car, which you gotta have, obviously, but it costs you, what, $30 to $60 a month or a week to put fuel in it. So.
Thanks a lot, Kelly. I'll just add that, and it doesn't take that long of $300 or $400 WAPA bills to add up to $20,000.
That's true. That's true.
Thanks a lot, Kelly.
Thank you.
Let's take a look.
So on behalf of this administration, including Greg Francis, I want everyone to know that it's our pleasure to be a very small part of a very big effort. A big effort done with our federal partners, done most especially by a local company that's been here for over 25 years with John Wessel and GEC, with a project manager like Lawrence Richards who knows what's taking place, from young people that were involved in this project, all an indication that it was constructed by Virgin Islanders, for Virgin Islanders, to be appreciated by Virgin Islanders. Thank you very much.